Mark's Woodshop 101.
Well, good morning. It's not really Marky Mark's Woodshop. We're back to Marky Mark's DIY. Back to the bathroom today, at least for the morning. I'm ready to put vapor barrier down in the floor today. So, normally you can just use paper, but you'd be surprised how expensive paper is. I had to buy 4 miles of it. So I found this stuff called SVS Silicone Vapor Shield, which I'm sure is just a impregnated paper, but I didn't have to buy 4 miles of it since I only need 8 feet. So let's take it out of the package and roll it out and tack it down. Trying to save the plastic here so I can put it back in there when I'm done, since I'm not going to be using the whole roll or anywhere close to the whole roll. And I don't know if the tools here in the video, but the tools I've anticipated using are a razor knife, scissors, stapler, and tape. So they gave me a factory edge that looks like a spinnaker. Why they did that, I don't know. Just to screw with me.
Okay. Let's see what size staples I have in here. Good. Short ones. Are you tucking that some underneath the carpet some?
No. But there is a step in the subflooring here that transitions between tongue and groove board and plywood. That I have to cut around. And fortunately it's a little step right by the transition, which will be the transition where the carpeting is. So that's convenient. Okie dokie. It gets a little tricky going through here, obviously. Let me find our length first. Somewhere thereabouts. Always cut it a little big, because you can always trim it, you can't add to it. Okay, all it's got to do is cooperate. Good. Of course, our door frames are not seated on the subflooring. That makes room for carpet or whatever else, gives room for expansion. And it'll be hidden by the baseboard anyway. Okay, let's deal with our length. Trying to go up as far as I possibly can. There we go. Alrighty, so all I need to do is keep it in place for the flooring. And we'll have to overlap the next sheet since it's only about 3 feet wide. 3 feet wide. Cut out the commode drain here. That would be a good thing. That way nothing backs up. Commode backups are very bad. I'm trimming right up to the flange. And we'll lay out the next piece. Let's see here, stapler. Alrighty, we can get this secured, then we'll come back and cut the toilet out again. Okie dokie. Pull it tight. Retie my shoe. And let me see if I can get this back in the bag. That ought to be fun because, of course, the rolls always expand. Because we're through with this now. We have to do this later. It's not not as easy as I anticipated. Maybe I'll get lucky. Find out in a second here. I think I might get lucky. Yep. Let's see. Oh, very good. Excellent. That's going to go out in the shed where it probably won't be used for a while. So I was going to put some tape down here just to seal it, but because of the overlap, I'm not worried about that. However, I'm going to put a piece of tape down just to keep the edges down for the flooring so it doesn't curl up on me. And staples are probably okay because this is like a padded type of linoleum, but I've found that like the little hard vinyl tiles, any imperfection in the floor, a bump, a dip, a staple will come through with wear. Not come through the floor, but the vinyl tile will get the same dimple or raise where the staple is, etc., as you walk on it with time. And by no means am I a licensed carpenter. However, things I've learned. Because if you have your own home, unless you're an executive, you're going to be doing some of this stuff. And you always learn the hard way along the way. So, we're ready for the actual flooring, which may be more of a problem since it's wider. I may have to pre-cut it. Let me see what we've got here. Get it out of the wrapper first. And being careful not to score the edge of our product. And of course this is that stuff they wrap around pallets like saran wrap. It's tough to cut. You need a really sharp edge to cut it. I'm using a relatively fresh blade in my razor, and it's not the cleanest cut. But it's working. Okie dokie. We must have got a factory edge here, which we obviously don't want. And I think, if I recall, this strip's like 20 feet long. So what I'm going to do is just trim off the factory edge here. It'll probably fit under my transition, but it's about 1 inch wide, so it may not. And because I'm putting down a transition, it doesn't have to be perfectly straight, although I've got a good line to follow, so it'll be damn close. Congoleum. That's what it says on here anyway. This stuff's probably not that much thicker than those hard tiles, the vinyl tiles, but it's a little softer. Got just a little bit of cushion, so that's a good thing. Now, let's see what we're going to have this way. Might need a tape measure. Heaven forbid. So we should have 43 inches between our walls. $44.25 there. $44 there. So I cut it at 44. And I don't know if I can write on this stuff with a pencil. We'll find out in a second. Let me grab a pencil. I'm sure you can. Yep. That's like standard building stuff 101. All carpenters use pencils, right? So whatever you make has to be able to be written on with a pencil. Let's see. And my straight edge is going to be too long. I got a 4-foot level, which won't fit in a 44-inch room. But I did bring up my square this morning, so we can use that. And it doesn't have to be perfect because the baseboard's going to hide it, any imperfections. Not a big deal. Okay. Okay, let's keep that going. I'll kind of roll this up as we go, if possible. I'm not going to do the whole 20 feet. I'll start measuring my length here in a second. $44. Let's see, we need a total of 8 feet. This is actually a little long. Longer is better. You can always trim it. You can add more. It's about 3 feet. That's all. I just bury it. Go. 44. It's 4 feet. Normally the floor is the last thing you put down in a project, but as you can see, that's not quite so. The bathroom is an exception because of the toilet, and you could go around the vanity, but in this case, you know, vanities may not last forever. This one will, but if you change out a vanity, it may be a different size, and you know, your floor could be short, which wouldn't be a good thing. So,
Or the style.
I'm just going to put it down underneath of it, and it's less work having to cut it out. So that's 6 feet. 44. Almost there. Good scissors. Can you get a close-up of that, Miss Video Person? These are 99-cent scissors from Harbor Freight. I have broken a couple, but they cut through all kinds of stuff from sheet metal to you name it. And for 99 cents, I've got one in every toolbox, one hanging on the pegboard in the shop, in the kitchen. They're everywhere. A lot of times you can get them free too with little coupons. So we're almost there. We got about 2 more feet to cut. I buried the pencil again. It's come to there. And 44.